This is the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abich, founder of Abich Financial Services.
And I'm Heather Branch here with Abe to talk about ways you can work now in effort to better prepare for your financial future and your retirement goals. RetirementKeyRadio.com is where you can go to begin your own conversation with Abe and his team at Abich Financial. Again, that's RetirementKeyRadio.com. Summertime usually means, well, for me, it means spending time inside. I don't want to be outside. It's too hot.
It is hot.
I was complaining to you about my high maintenance needs, my modern day amenities that I will not live without. Air conditioning, number one on the list.
Thank God for AC. My goodness.
But the whole idea of summertime and trying to enjoy ourselves, it doesn't mean that anything else in the financial world stops.
Yeah, we're pretty high right now on some of these major indices. It's definitely something we want to pay attention to because the markets aren't that far off, Heather, from their high back in early 2022 before the huge drop last year. So we really want to pay attention because the higher this thing goes, the higher these markets go, driven by, 8 to 10 companies and a lot of AI, the further the shoe can drop.
Okay,
right?
what you just said right there, there are a few companies, because I'm thinking there's somebody listening to you right now that's maybe not doing as well within their own investments, but the markets are looking so high. And it's like, well, why am I not doing so well? Well, unless you have these certain particular 5 companies, you probably haven't made that many earns.
Well, here's the stat. About 8 to 10 companies are driving nearly 100% of the stock market's returns in 2023. So you've got the FANG stocks, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google. You've also got a few others like Tesla, Nvidia have had huge runs here in 2023, Microsoft. And those 8 or 9 companies, if you take them out of the S&P 500 and the remaining 490 or so, the remaining 490 in the S&P is responsible for less than 0.5% of the year-to-date growth. So you take those 8 to 10 companies out and you're left with pretty much a flat market or a market that's up a hair or down a hair. That is something, to really sit there and pause and think about and make sure your ducks are in a row and that we are cautiously optimistic as we head into the second half. As the Federal Reserve is talking about rate increases, not rate decreases, not that far off from the market's highs in 2022 before the big drop. We've got to pay attention and make sure we have a plan.
Okay, so thinking about what you were saying, not that far off from the market highs, this article out of MarketWatch.com was talking about how the S&P is now up 20% from its October low, and technically, Abe, we're now in a new bull market.
Bull market or fool market? Fool's market.
Well, strategist from Bank of America is with you. He is disagreeing. He was saying that the tech stocks, like you were just talking about, specifically those in artificial intelligence, these are the ones that are holding up the market. And furthermore, he feels that our current climate is actually more like not just one or the other, a combination of 2000 and 2008, and then a big rally before a collapse is maybe what we're headed for. So thinking about folks that are just getting ready to retire or perhaps have just retired, Abe, the folks you work with, when market signals and opinions are so mixed, like the news we're currently seeing, how do you talk to folks about the direction they should take?
Well, that's a great question, Heather. And really what you want is you're transitioning into retirement. So for those of you listening that've got maybe 10 years or less away till full retirement, and most of our clients are 5 years or less away, months away from full retirement or already retired, you've got to have a plan for this next 30 years of your life that is going to have not only growth, but protection built in, because most of our clients and most people in the DC metro area have already saved enough to retire successfully and with dignity and confidence, right? That might be $1 million for you, $500,000. It might be $5 million for you, depending on how much you spend. But more than likely, you've hit your goal. You've hit your accumulation goal. So ask yourself this. If you've hit the accumulation goal that you needed to actually retire with dignity and confidence, to generate the income that you need to live on comfortably for the rest of your life, inflation adjusted into your 90s or whenever you pass, and maybe even to pass on money to your loved ones if that's important, then why take on any extra risk than necessary? Taking on extra risk so that you can potentially make more money. I mean, you're only going to lose more money too when the markets go backwards, and those losses and negatives, they are harsh when you're in retirement and in that phase 2 and in the income and distribution phase. So the answer is you got to have a plan for the ups and downs, and you need both protection and growth, not just that focus on growth. And almost all the time we see people come in that are about to retire like at the beginning of 2024 with 80 to 90% in stocks, and they're in their mid to late 60s. And that's exactly the way this couple looked that we're going to talk about right now. We just had a couple call in and come in from Sterling, not too far from our office, Loudoun County, Virginia. $2 million saved, late 60s, retiring January 1st of 2024, just less than 6 months away from full retirement. A 5 on our risk scale. Just middle-of-the-road investors, very concerned about their transition because although they've been great accumulators and great savers, taking advantage of their TSPs and 401ks and IRAs, they don't know a lot about the distribution phase. And in general, in our industry, there's very little advice and guidance on the whole back end part of a retirement plan. There's tons of information about the front end, that growth phase, right? Where you're stuffing your 401ks and TSPs and IRAs and all these fancy investments, stocks, bonds, ETFs, mutual funds, what have you. Very little advice and guidance on taxes, on RMDs, on generating income, on when to take Social Security, on when and how to take your pension, on what to do for health care and long-term care and legacy and all this stuff. Very little discussion and guidance out there. So that's what they had questions about. Tons of questions on all of these issues that are now facing them for the first time in their lives. We also found out they're taking on way too much risk. They had like 85 to 90% of their portfolio. This is a $2 million portfolio in stocks. So they had done really well and got to the $2 million in large part because they had such big equity exposure. Now realizing, hey, we've got enough money. And so what did they do? They came in with all these questions and they got a where do I stand plan and a portfolio x-ray on their whole plan so they could see, okay, here's where we're headed. They thought they were in good shape. They've got pension, Social Security, $2 million. But once you see it all on paper and in a plan, it's really helpful for people to visualize that and for people to see you are either in good shape or you're in bad shape or you're in between. And if you're in between or in bad shape, you know what to fix. If you're in good shape, you know what to continue to take advantage of, right? And so that second opinion on their entire plan, including the portfolio x-ray to show them the pros and cons of what they're currently invested in, is exactly what they needed to retire with dignity and confidence, to pull the trigger in retiring on January 1st of 2024. That's what a lot of people need to have that comfort and to have that added peace of mind to be able to say, you know what, now is the right time. I've always wanted to retire at this age and with this amount of money, and I'm going out on top, and it's nearly the peak of the markets right now. And that's exactly what a lot of people need and what we gave them, that portfolio x-ray and analysis. So if you're listening right now and you sound like this couple in Sterling and you're in your mid 60s, late 50s, early 70s, and you would like a portfolio x-ray as well on all of your investment holdings, go to retirementkeyradio.com, click on the Contact Us tab at the top of the page, and we can begin to have that same conversation with you as well.
Abe, when we think about our money, it's not just about the market mindset. It is about how we metabolize all of it. And a lot of it is created and driven by experiences that we've actually internalized over the years. Financial planner and author Carrie Carbonaro has identified several so-called money minds, and she's done so in women in particular, saying that one is fear.
If you have a fear money mind, you can almost never have enough money because you are so afraid that you're either going to lose it or run out or not have enough. Women aged 35 to 49, 60% of those women fall into the fear category. And sometimes fear paralyzes you from making important decisions in your life, especially surrounding money.
So when you see female clients who have this money mind and they're coming to you to ask about retirement planning, how do you help turn their negative views into positives?
Yeah, Heather, I think it's not just women, but men as well.
Sure.
I mean, I think the number one fear of anyone retiring or a retiree is that they're going to outrun their money. So naturally, they are more typically nervous and concerned about all the things that could mess up their retirement. That doesn't mean you can't retire with dignity and confidence, but it's natural to be nervous about it. And it's very uncertain for people. It's unknown. So to gain more clarity, dignity, confidence, added peace of mind, you want to have everything tested and you want to have as much understanding and as much knowledge as you can without driving yourself crazy about your own retirement plan, about your own investments, getting a second opinion on all these decisions you're going to be making, right? Having the math tested. That can help people to give them more clarity and more comfort as they make these decisions. Okay. And I'll use my mom and dad. You know, my dad grew up in an old traditional faith-filled home. My dad really led the family with all the financial decisions, and my mom just kind of trusted him to make sure everything was taken care of. Mm-hmm. That's the case for some people, but if you're single and you don't really have anyone there to help you, it can be even more daunting.
Yep.
And we have a lot of single females, widowed, divorced, and just single females that are clients of ours that come to us, and they realize the value of having a partner to work with, right? Because women live longer on average than men. Women are more concerned with healthcare and all these things that can affect them in the back end part of their life. We just had a lady come in, and she's 68. She's got $1 million saved, lives in Chantilly, Virginia, retiring in 5 years, and she doesn't know much about money and investing, but she knew how to put it away because people at her workplace were telling her, hey, you got to max out the 401k and take advantage of the match. So she's got $1 million saved, but she's very worried and concerned for her future, naturally, as most people are. So what she wanted was a second opinion, and what we offered her was a where do I stand plan, customized just for her. Answered all of her questions, put together a phase 2 plan for her, and that gave her a lot more clarity. It gave her a clear vision and path and a partnership in working with us, which helped build trust with her as she transitions into full retirement. So if you're listening right now and you sound like this lady in Chantilly and you're really needing that second opinion to help you retire with as much dignity and confidence as you possibly can, go to retirementkeyradio.com, click on the Contact Us tab at the top of the page, and we can begin to have these same conversations with you as well.
Thanks for listening to the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abich. To learn more about Abich Financial Services, visit retirementkeyradio.com. And join Abe for his radio show, The Retirement Key, Saturdays at 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 2 p.m. on WMAL.
Investment advisory services offered through Abich Financial Wealth Management, LLC, number 310633, a registered investment advisor firm. Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Abraham Abich is licensed in your state, please call 571-577-9968. Abich Financial Services is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Abich Financial Services, Inc., Virginia Insurance License number 127820.